Hello, IGN. My name is Jose Otero. I am here with Per Schneider.
Hey,
And guess what you're looking at?
I know what
audience?
it is.
You know what it is. What is this?
This is my 64DD.
Oh, okay. So, cool thing. When you boot up the Nintendo 64 for the first time, in case you're watching this video and you haven't seen this before, the 64DD was an add-on. And this is the idle screen when you first boot it up. What does that say?
Well, at the bottom it says put the disc in, and then it shows you the date. And that was actually one of the unique features of the 64DD was a built-in clock. The N64 didn't have one, right? And so that was supposed to unlock new stuff like day-night cycles in games. And you know, Doshin the Giant was originally released on this platform as well. And you get these big, fat 64 megabyte discs that you put in. And you can see, even though we haven't booted this thing up for many years, the clock is still there.
Yeah, I
it's
was
still
going to ask
working
if
fine.
you set that just for these Let's Plays. It looks like you didn't. So for context, folks, this Let's Play you're about to watch, which we're going to be playing Mario Artist Talent Studio. Per's going to pop that in right now.
Well, you don't want to see the bump mapping. Here we go.
Like, no, let's do
you
it.
Can see, You can see Mario work, mess around with the N logo, and they show all sorts of effects. I don't know if I think it randomizes them, but he falls through it. He climbs on top of the end. There you go. Look at bump mapping in action.
Look at that.
Woo.
Wow. This is technology circa 1999, folks. This
but that wasn't seen before, so it was cool when this came out in 99. So we're going to put in a game that came out in 2000, okay? And you actually, when you bought the 64DD initially, you had to pay with your credit card. You had to live in Japan, have a Japanese credit card. And then you got, sorry, here we go with the music. Little warning there. It sounds a little bit like porn film music always when you get the 64DD.
A little? What are you talking about? A lot.
So this game, when you initially bought it, you would commit to buying all the software that came with it. So all the 3 Mario Artist titles, there was this one Talent Studio, there was Paint Studio, then there was Polygon Studio, and then there was a communication kit that linked them all. You can see here, you know who that is?
Oh, I know him. That is Shigeru Miyamoto. He's got a. So how did you? So that these characters we're seeing in this little role right here, that's characters you guys made essentially from the game itself.
Yeah, not all of them. The Miyamoto one we did. So we basically took a picture. I think it was a picture from either a still from a video like a Space World video or something like that.
Sure.
And then we put it in through the capture cartridge. At the top of the unit, there's right now you don't see this, but on the N64 there's a cartridge with old RCA kind of input. So the yellow video cord from your camcorder or VCR goes into it, and you can capture footage from it. And then you can use that footage actually to create characters.
Got it. All right, so one of the things that I noticed when we were messing around with this earlier is that a lot of the UI flat out reminds me of Game Boy Camera.
Yeah.
And of that token weirdness where it was about sort of the entertainment value. And are you tapping him on the feet?
Yeah,
right
you
now?
can do this stuff. And, like anybody who's familiar with Mii's and with, games like Tomodachi Live, you see kind of like the original concept for this game, right?
Yeah.
You got your characters here. I can now go in and I can change all sorts of stuff about these characters. Talent Studio is the most limited one, I think, of the 3, but it's the most fun of them too. You can mess with these characters. You can change their hair. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can change the hair color. The interface, by the way, they also sold a mouse for it. You got the mouse with it too.
Yeah,
so
that would feel a lot more natural.
It was a little bit
controller.
more usable with a mouse than with this. You can even do textures.
So one of the things that I've been impressed with since the moment you've shown me this, though, is the level of detail that is actually in Mr. Miyamoto's face right now, specifically, around his eyes and how well it sort of maps everything out, so that his mouth, his nose, all of these things.
Yeah, look at that, right?
Like, I have to say I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And this ran also using the RAM cartridge. Was that required as well, or just the 64?
you needed the RAM expansion too for this as well. But yeah, you can totally shape the characters, and you can make things bigger and smaller. I can extend the ears if I want. So it's a little bit like that Mario face demo that you saw on at the beginning
of Mario 64. Yeah. Where you can
So-
sort of twist and move. And I mean, it is sort of using a similar interface with just the hand that you're sort of poking and grabbing and doing things.
I can also, by the way, he keeps on saying karedaisu. Like you can record, I mean, you can record something through a built-in microphone. There's a microphone that comes with the game too.
Okay.
You remember the the Pikachu
Yeah,
microphone?
Hey You Pikachu.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that same microphone
Same
comes
mic.
with it, and you can
Okay.
record voice samples. So for some odd reason, this character, this Miyamoto character,
Do you
is
remember
always
who
saying
did that?
karedaisu.
Was that something you guys
This
did
one
back
was
then?
this is a preset, but I can show you another character. But yeah, you can see, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like we can do earrings, we can do hats. So all these things before this kind of junk existed on mobile phones was doable in this, and I can totally like randomize stuff too if you want. Right here.
Wow.
All right. So the bomb means you can do a little you can give him a halo, for example.
Okay.
Karedaisu.
And we haven't talked about how you sort of got faces in here, did we? That the cartridge that plugs into the Nintendo 64 has a dedicated video out that would go into a Handycam.
Yeah, so you can or VCR. I mentioned this earlier, but you can basically plug in a VCR and freeze frame a movie, and then grab the face from the movie, right? You can
What?
crop it out. You can use texture. So now we're in the.
Oh my God, this music!
Yeah,
this
the
is
music's
so
pretty
amazing,
hot, right? So I'm going to abandon the Miyamoto character. I'm going to look in here, right? This is some. It looks like some characters we created way back in the day.
Where's
like,
yours?
Here's an old pear character.
All
Here
right,
we
let's
go.
look at the
This
Pear
is me.
Schneider.
I probably look.
And it's
really
funny because when
scary
you
in
pick
this.
a character, it sounds like all this construction is happening, and like it is getting made right now. Wow, that's you?
Yeah,
Get
that's
outta
me.
here.
Oh, the voice sample is actually Craig Harris going Soul right now. So that was
Okay.
one of our editors back in the days. So now I can go into the Showtime section here with my character.
Okay.
Give him a little, I got a little flying machine. And I can look at the different things. For example, Odoru, that's dance. So
Okay.
there are all these different dance animations here from like, the Japanese koten fan dance to, line dance and flamenco and,
Let's
and
see line
sexy
dancing.
pose.
I want to see the
Line dance?
dancing, and then we'll
All
try
right, here
sexy
comes line
pose.
dance.
Let's see what
This is
happens
me.
here.
Line dancing, that's right. Oh yeah.
Wow, how German.
Yeah. Well, I can't hide who I am. And Otto Lilienthal, I guess he was Austrian, but he did the first flight with the glider, right?
Okay,
So,
okay,
Yeah.
very nice.
Austrians, Germans,
So
we're all the same, right?
right off the bat, you definitely do see that sort of the willingness to sort of make fun of yourself is kind of what
That's
makes
it.
this really cool. It's all about like pulling the people Whoa, volleyball?
Yeah, but total failure, obviously, right? The whole point is
Yeah.
that I'm not very good at volleyball.
I can
There you
see.
go.
Did you just get a bruise
Which
from that?
is- Yeah, we're
Man,
good at
this is
soccer,
violent.
though.
You are getting bruised.
Yeah.
What?
There you go. So they got all these crazy
no, you're not.
animations
Yeah.
in here. Some really ridiculous stuff, obviously, like the kissy face stuff, and like Miyamoto, of course. It wouldn't be a Miyamoto project without.
Oh. I didn't associate him with that until
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he always liked the concept of creating
Concert and
conducting.
conducting.
So yeah, there's all this stuff. I can also be Godzilla, basically, and destroy a city. And so for a family to mess around with this app, it was just really fun,
Yeah.
right? Like I played it with some friends, and we just made the most ridiculous animations. I'm squashing cars. And at the time, it was really unique. There wasn't anything else that really let you put your face in the game the way
Yeah.
this did. But the whole package was actually a little bit more powerful because with the use of the communication, here's the voice, by the way. I can change that.
Yeah.
With the use of the let me turn that turn that off. So with the use of the communication kit, you can actually take images you create in the paint program,
Mhm.
the Mario Artist paint program, and you can bring them in here and you can use them to customize certain things like textures. Oh wait, that's just the mic. You can turn the porn music back on. Here we go.
There you go.
Thank you.
And the souls continue.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna load. I'm gonna show you something else actually.
Yeah.
So in this disk manager, you can see all the different characters you can load. There's actually wait a second. We'll go into that one. There's actually a Yamauchi in here. See this?
That's
All
right.
we gotta get out.
Yeah.
That X means we can't load it in this mode because we're actually loading characters right now.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're gonna go into. Yep.
And that's maybe one of the smaller little UI things that doesn't seem quite right with this package. Where it's really cool to be able to make and create and look at all these wacky things in a different light. But when you save everything, it saves them all into one location, and so you run into the problem where you can't load certain things in certain modes of the game. I just wish they wouldn't show it to you at all.
It's as if, well, yeah, it's as
Yeah.
if Windows hadn't existed. I mean, it's really funny. You see,
Yeah.
every menu is slightly different.
Yeah,
so
they're
it's
all
slightly
completely
crazier. So
different.
we got like the talent. You can do a talent show, or you can watch a movie. And I
Okay.
think there's a preset movie on here. There's some other stuff
Yeah.
I can show you, but there's the preset movie that's on this disc. Load movie right here.
Okay.
Do you like that they have the Running Man on
Yes,
the
I
disc?
do. I feel like I've seen him
Came
somewhere
back,
before
right?
too.
Later on the Wii.
Absolutely.
With the concept of the dog. So hold on, I think it's in here. There you go.
Yep, there he is.
Here's my Yamauchi movie, so we're gonna
Yeah,
load
and
it.
this came on the cartridge or on the software by default.
Yeah.
And and you know, RIP. This is the former you know, president of Nintendo.
Yeah.
The president that kind of brought the company into the software age and made
Yep.
them into a games company, and more entertainment focused than the Hanafuda cards focus.
So I can basically line up multiple movies and then watch them in
Oh,
succession,
sequentially.
right?
Got it.
Yeah. So I save my selection here, and then I can start. This is I think it's Nintendo Chacho no Go Aisatsu. It's basically like his greeting, his speech.
Okay, got it.
So
got
his
it.
introduction.
And
so
this is actually him. This
Yeah.
is modeled off of him. This is his voice.
Yeah.
Zawa, 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 zawa.
That's just
Everyone's
people
excited.
talking,
Yep.
right? Here we go.
Look at that.
It's a really trippy game.
Yeah, no. Part of me almost wishes that with something like the gamepad, we'll see something like this again. Just because you have a way to import faces and photos, and they've been doing
Yeah.
that with 3DS. They've been doing that with Wii U to an extent, with Mii Maker and whatnot.
I honestly think, I mean, companies like Nintendo are very scared of what kind of imagery people upload,
Well,
right?
yeah, and that's the minute they
It's-
get online and
yeah.
share it with each other. Yeah.
You know, I booted up Spore for my kids the other day. Remember Spore?
I remember
Like
Spore.
the first thing they encounter is a giant penis character, right? Like somebody always makes them, and I think that would probably happen a lot. They would have to moderate it a lot. So that's actually his voice,
Hmm.
Yamauchi's voice. So
And do you know
yeah.
what the speech is here?
You know, I haven't listened to this in a while. I'd have to listen for a while, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
so
still
he's
really
talking about
cool.
he's talking about this game. Oh, he messed up earlier, right? He got interrupted.
Which is why the wacky
yeah.
sounds and whatnot.
But the crazier stuff is, so you saw a movie that was created by Nintendo right here, right? And then it fades out. The crazy thing is that you can also use Polygon Studio, the other game, and you can make yourself items and kind of props,
Uh-huh.
and you can pull that kind of stuff together in different ways. There's actually a little game you can play. You know, there's a fly swatting game and all that kind of stuff.
Sure,
Not
sure.
in here, but you can then go into the Talent Studio Movie Maker right here. And you can assemble your own movies. So you can use the characters animation. You can animation.
So I guess
Hold on a
while
second.
you're setting this part up, one
Mhm.
more observation. The other thing that strikes me with a lot of the presentation here, outside of Game Boy Camera, is actually WarioWare. This
Oh,
feels
yeah.
very WarioWare, and if not, even one of the more recent WarioWares, WarioWare DIY, which was focused on creation. It was very much about you making games.
There you go. There's Craig Harris.
There's Craig
right there.
Harris, and
The first
Cell.
one is Tal. I don't know
Okay.
who that is, but it's somebody in a chicken suit, obviously.
Okay.
So this Aku thing just kind of does a randomizer. So you saw, you
Okay.
can kind of see the variety. Oh, there you go. There's Matt Casamassina right
Oh,
there,
nice.
the former
Okay,
IGN
former
editor as
IGN
well.
editor.
So we'll
Wait,
use
we're gonna
him
use the
here,
car,
yeah?
or do we want to change that? Does
Huh?
that stay locked? The car at the bottom.
The car stays locked for the animation that we're going to use. So I'm
Okay,
going to get
got
out
it.
of there. You know, we got these two guys. I think Fran's face is in here too. So
Okay.
we have a lot of folks. And then you can use this and actually play this. This is you know, the first movie loaded here, and we can play it.
Okay.
Is it this one? Okay, here. Let's try it out. Yeah.
All right.
I love the sound effect.
Yes, I do too, and it's definitely wacky in that WarioWare sort of style.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, it's forgotten, right? Not many people know this game and this series, and obviously the 64DD only sold 15,000 units, which is
Yeah.
really tiny, and it only came
does,
out in Japan,
yeah.
and it was first a credit card only release. Later on, they put some in stores. It was a huge failure,
Yep.
right? they kind of abandoned it before they even got close to releasing it. But some of the biggest games we play now got their start on the 64DD, including, you know, Ocarina of Time and, you know, well, Doshin, of course. But
The
there are all
Master
these
Quest.
Earthbound, Mother 3, right?
Yeah.
All those games started there and then were moved off to cartridge as cartridges were getting bigger.
Yep.
And the advantage was 64 megabytes of storage, rewritability, so your world changes, all that kind of stuff, which it felt like Nintendo was trying to get around having a CD drive at the same time wanted to solve some other issues and came up with this concept, right?
Yeah.
So this is really trippy.
Wow, Tal Blevins, Speed Demon. One thing I will say, though, is that part of the design here, too, kind of reminds me of Flipnote Studio, which is still a thing that they do, although they've had an installment that's been out in Japan for a while now. Wow, what is happening right now?
You can't question what happened.
He just Hadoukened the car. What is going on?
It's just, wait, it's not done yet. He has to apologize first for his terrible driving.
Wow. This just got... That was amazing.
Yeah.
No, but that sort of token
brake,
creative spirit lives on, I feel, a little bit in Flipnote Studio, but it's definitely not to the degree of you, because you're making movies and you're making animations and you're kind of playing around with it, but a lot of it is preset here.
Yeah.
That's what I really admire about this.
But I feel like, you know, let's get out. But I feel like the concept of this game is so good. Why do we get out of this stuff?
There we go.
Get back to saving. But I actually took a screen capture, I think. But the spirit behind this is really cool, right? How cool would it be if on the Wii U you could capture your face and put it into games? And I think, you know, because there are some bad apples that use this for some nasty stuff, it's something that companies like Nintendo shy away from, when in fact they've been so creative with these tools and have set up so much cool stuff. If they trusted the community a little bit more or built some better barriers, I think this kind of stuff could be so cool.
No, I agree. And you know, you can use sort of the camera on a gamepad to bring yourself into Mii Maker, but it would be nice to see that next step.
Yeah.
You know, be outside of sort of the Wii software. By the way, I love that one of the icons is hiding from you the entire
Yeah, so that's
time.
the options menu. I was wondering too why it kind of flees from you, but it's like, honestly, I mean, we're so used to menus being readily accessible. It's kind of funny, but it's also cool because it gets your attention, right?
Yeah, no,
like
absolutely.
Everything about this game is completely playful and crazy. So I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I got it back in 2000 and that I still have it.
Well, and I'm glad we got to show it to people. So for folks, we meant to mention this at the beginning, but here at IGN, we're celebrating 125 years of Nintendo's history by counting down 125 pieces of Nintendo software that are really important or that we feel sort of fit a criteria as being special. And this is definitely one of them. Although some could argue this is not a game, I would argue that, you know, the notion of a game and especially what entertainment is as a game is sort of challenged by stuff like this, because it's more about yourself and it's more about trying to sort of create these wacky little scenarios and enjoy them. It's very much playing, almost like, you know, just the notion of play itself.
Well, you play, I mean, it's a creativity app, you create movies, but most of the time it's just spent messing around with faces and doing goofy stuff, and it's like, I love the reactions too. I mean, you can see that probably Rare, who were around back then, were looking at this stuff too. If you use the Xbox 360 interface, it's so similar. You know, like the avatars on that system. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you have it, folks.
That's
This is Talent Studio, part of the Mario Artist suite of software, which was on the 64DD. And for more Nintendo coverage and a bunch of Let's Plays, make sure you keep it right here at IGN.
Bye-bye.